The Busy Doing Nothing.
Busy doing nothing.
Busy doing nothing.
Busy Doing Nothing podcast.
What up, motherfuckers? So, my bad.
That works.
Right. All right. Hello, everyone. We're back for the Busy Doing Nothing podcast. You know, we back. My name's House, and to my right, I have
Princess, aka Pranny D, and to my right I have
Maiya, the designing agent, and to my right I have
Taylor, aka Doc, and to my right I have
Mr. Fremont, who was too drunk to open up the show.
yeah. He's kind of in the same mode I was last week, just like a piece of furniture for right now. So, but he's gonna warm up. He'll be good. He'll be fine. But today we have a special guest, Maiya. You know, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? While the spotlight on you.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? Like they say, my name's Maiya, the designing agent on Instagram. I am a real estate agent here in Baltimore. Well, I'm licensed officially in the state of Maryland, but I solely focus on Baltimore because that's where I was born and raised. And you know, I'm just here to, just spread education, spread wealth, and inform the community.
Yay.
Black excellence.
Yes.
So we're gonna start with these shots.
Hey.
The drink of the day, if you've watched the Busy Making Drink segment, is 99 grapes, a grape vodka. You know, my prediction is that it will taste like children's Tylenol because grape flavored vodka and cherry flavored vodka infamously just always tastes like children's
That reminds
Tylenol.
me of the purple Robitussin.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I
always.
would rather just die than drink the purple Robitussin.
Yeah, that shit tastes like
I was in the grocery store and it wasn't even Robitussin anymore. It was just
Just
Tussin.
Tussin,
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, what is this?
Tussin is the
They probably took that
brand.
from black people because that's what black people called it.
Right,
That's what
Tussin.
country
Tussin.
southern white
Tussin.
people call it too.
Get the
Tussin. Rub some tussin on it.
Chris Rock said that shit.
Right.
They thought somebody broke his leg. Rub some Tussin on it. I am not looking forward to this.
I'm not.
no.
Vodka is not my friend.
I don't like
Hopefully,
vodka.
I'm not gonna be as reactive as I've been.
It's gonna be a bad time.
I don't know if I can.
I'm still on medical leave from alcohol.
That last video, you got a lot of reactions, boy. Like,
You were about to die. That was
like,
I was kind
Alright.
of pale after witness shit.
It was pale.
are y'all ready?
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Try not to laugh. I already know. I already know it's nasty.
Ooh.
I already know your face is going to be fucked up.
No. Absolutely not.
All right, so let's go around the table. Chris, what would you rate that?
All right.
Oh, shit.
2? Taylor, you go.
It wasn't as bad as last week's shot, though. I feel
wasn't.
like, yeah, last week's shot was a 0. I get this one like, yeah, maybe a 2.
Oh,
So
that
what-
does
so-
taste like
so-
Robitussin. Ew. Yo.
It do taste like medicine.
It's hot.
So really quick.
I actually think they had like some chocolate.
So really quick. When I'm off my medical leave and I can drink alcohol again, which of these shots do I have to take as my back shot? Do I have to take
The other
this
one.
shit?
The other
Both.
one.
Other one?
Both of them.
The
No, I
other
can't
one.
do both. 'Cause we're gonna do bonus
each.
drink. We're
One
gonna
of each.
look. We're gonna do
One of
bonus
each.
drink. Hear me out now. We're gonna do bonus drink. We're gonna have a drink of the day for next week, and then 2
Damn.
additional shots. I gotta
One,
take 4
Damn.
shots.
No.
So since we're revealing it all, last week when we did the shot, Lee had a shot of water. Maya had a shot of white rum. That's why she was able to take it.
Yes, I'm
so
taking
easily.
medication right now. Can't do alcohol, but I still want to participate. So you know,
So for sure.
I just figured I'd be transparent this time around.
You've been duped, people.
Probably not, because I was laughing my ass off. Last time, all of y'all were dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still feel it's going down my
That
chest.
shit was
Yeah.
fucking 2.
Yeah, I
What would
give
you
it
rate
two.
it, Maya?
Shit, yeah,
2.
That
So
shit
2
is
all across the
terrible.
board. Did it taste
Well, he
like
said 1.
Oh, 1.
a 1? It tastes like medicine. Was it worse than last week's shot for you?
The
No.
aftertaste
No.
makes me want to say
It
1
is.
too.
It's
a
that
terrible
Because it's
aftertaste.
lingering.
Yeah.
And it's like
is
spicy.
Burn, right? It burns.
It's like
why
that-
does it
whatever
burn?
How many
syrup.
proof is this? 99 proof.
That's why
It's almost overproof.
it's over. It's yeah. So
Oops, I was playing.
You're probably not even supposed to drink this straight.
probably not.
They tell you what to mix it with.
Didn't we drink something that said not
Yeah.
drink straight?
Yeah.
And I think we did it anyway.
That triple
It
black
was some
shit.
shit I brought. Yeah.
Yeah, that black shit.
I always
Black
break
Bacardi.
overproof bullshit, so I knew it was some shit.
That black Bacardi said don't drink.
It don't say don't drink it.
It said don't
Don't
drink
drink it
without
straight.
mixing.
But
Right.
99 proof is...
But it do give you like what you should mix it with. Like
Cocktails.
it's like a little
One
cocktail.
thing though about overproof alcohol, no matter what you mix it
Recommend.
with, you're gonna taste alcohol every
Right.
fucking time. Like, ugh.
I did not like that.
Whatever
No,
syrup
I
they
didn't enjoy that
use,
at all.
and when they make vodka flavored with grape, it's just it all tastes the same.
First of
Gross.
all, we need to assess because vodka is made with potatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vodka's made with potatoes. So you're taking potatoes and whatever type of flavoring and mixing that, you're bound to get anything. So that,
I never had a good vodka, so.
Yeah.
Vodka just is all nasty.
I
never
think
had
vodka is one of those alcohols we drink when we first start drinking.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
starter
And then we
alcohol.
grow
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Probably gin too, because gin.
my
is-
Gin.
no.
I never
I
drank
grew
gin.
into gin.
I never
Fuck no,
drank
I
gin.
hate
gin.
gin.
I hate gin now.
gin. I hate gin.
The smell of gin make my mouth water like I'm about to vomit now. But that was one of the first things I started drinking. Naughty
My
Head.
shit was tequila.
I love tequila.
I started tequila early.
Tequila is not good for my spirit.
It's none of ours, but we keep doing it anyway.
I know.
I have grown to be a solid whiskey drinker,
Yes, I'm
and
drinking.
I stay there.
Right. Give me the brown.
Whiskey
Yeah,
is my
whiskey's
shit.
cool.
I'm a Maker's Mark girl all day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
usually
whiskey's
drink
cool.
Crown, but I think I'm coming off
Anything
the
brown
I like
that's not
Crown.
Hennessy.
Crown is it's gotten too sweet for me.
Crown
so
is starting to give me a headache a lot now.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a new brown drink.
I
That's
haven't
why I
been
stopped
drinking it
fucking
enough.
with
Makers.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh,
I will
yeah.
run down the list for you.
Okay.
You can do Knob Creek. You can do Woodford
Knob Creek
Reserve.
is my shit.
Woodford. You can do Bullet. They got rye and bourbon.
Hmm.
Makers is always a good one. So those are just a top shelf.
I want to try some DiGiorno. How you say that shit?
Disaronno?
Disaronno.
I
Yeah,
like
I don't think that's an actual liquor. It's like a liqueur, right?
it.
Yeah. So
I just
liqueur
like the commercial.
is
It's like a pretty bottle.
I just like the
Yeah.
commercial for real.
kinda
with the
sweet.
old guy.
Our guest is well versed on these drinks because she's also a bartender. Right?
I am a bartender, real estate agent by day, bartender at night, so I can sell you a house and then get you fucked up afterwards.
Get you fucked up in the house.
Hey,
Right.
listen, and that's the thing I'm
Sell you the
honestly,
house and host the housewarming.
that's what I was thinking about doing.
Oh, that's what's
Oh,
up.
That's
cool.
a selling tactic now.
Right.
Like, have your housewarmer that come bartend for you. Like, why not?
That's what's up.
Oh, me guitar.
You just hand out cards. Hey, you want a house?
Right, here
You want
you
a
go.
bargain?
You see how nice this shit is? I sold it this. That was me.
As you showing the house, I can set up a little bar right here in this corner,
Right.
and I
For
got
the
you.
housewarming party,
Right.
with this date. Absolutely.
That's what's up.
So,
So what made you get into real estate?
So, initially I was into interior design. So real estate was like nowhere on my radar. I was going to CCBC, which is, for those who don't know, is the community college of Baltimore County, and they had an interior design program, and that's like, that's all I wanted to do. I was just so infatuated with, like HGTV and the renovation process and this, and making the house real pretty. And I don't fuck with him no more, but my ex, he was like, he was just like, you don't have to just, buy, design the home. He was like, you can buy it and sell it too. And I was just like, that makes some type of sense. So at the time, I was working for the state of Maryland. I was on a contractual position, and then, they had like promised me like they can give me the job, and I was just like, okay, yeah, lit, right? So I had got my hopes all up. And I went for the interview, and I got an email back from HR. I was just like, hey, unfortunately, we can't offer you the position. And I was just like,
Right.
what the fuck am I going to do? So I was just like, all right. So I'm just like, all right, so let me look into this real estate classes. So I went to Long and Foster. At first, I tried to take it online. I'm not an online course taker at all.
I
Like,
can't
I
do
realized that.
online
Like, I couldn't do it. So I had then went to Long and Foster. I had registered for the class. Like, I kid you not, as soon as my end date ended for my contract position, my classes started. And you got to do 60 hours to get your real estate license, and then you have to take your state exam. So you have two portions for the state exam. You have nationals, and then you have state. So it's like 90 is like your state questions, 90 is your national, state your 30. State was so hard for me. I took that test 5 times, like before I actually got my real estate license, because like it was just that hard.
What the tests consist of?
So what they teach you in class, I kid you not, is nothing like what you take on the exam.
Oh wow.
It's just like it's
What in the world is the point of this?
it is like I swear I was getting duped. I was like, yo, what is this? But They teach you kind of, I guess, like just they teach you the general sense. Like they teach you so much in depth and in detail of how real estate is, that when you get down to like a lower level where you're just writing contracts for people and submitting offers, it's nothing about what you learned about in school. They teach you about boundary lines. They teach you about meet and bounds. They teach you about survey lines, like shit you never really hear about or that really makes sense when it comes into real estate. Like when
They're teaching like the state laws and shit.
exactly, so laws and just just like I didn't even know how to write my first offer. Like once you get into real estate and you choose a brokerage, and I was blessed to have a mentor who taught me the ropes about everything. But like I didn't even know how to write my first. They don't teach you none of that. They legit just teach you that's just like what the state laws are for real estate. Everything else you figure it out on your own.
Yeah, you just gotta throw yourself in there.
Yeah, like honestly, like that's exactly what it is. So, like I said, by the grace of God, I had like a mentor. She taught me everything. She taught me the ropes. She taught me how to write an offer. How to market yourself, because it's on a referral basis. That's something that like everyone doesn't buy a home every day.
Right.
So like you have to put yourself out there. You have to market. You have to touch the four of y'all sitting right here. Y'all may know about like 5 people. So I have to be extended to y'all, and then y'all can extend me to that 5 people. Like that's just honestly how the real estate game goes. But since then I've been doing it for about like 2. I'm in my 2nd official year. I quit my full-time job to do this full-time because it was something like I really, really wanted to do. I felt like my business called for it. Prior to this, I was a leasing specialist, so I leased apartments for John Hopkins. So I kind of like already had a foot in the field. But me becoming a full-time agent just kind of like took it over the top. And ever since then, like, I've been just networking, meeting people, and, just trying to spread the education, because not a lot of people know about real estate or what's the benefits of owning a home. Everyone's just like, oh, I'm going to rent because it's easier. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, no, like, own your shit. And that's what I want people to know. I want you to own your shit. So that's why I really got into real estate.
Do you feel like disinterest in home ownership is higher in the Black community?
Yeah, and I only say that because it's the lack of education that's provided to them, and on my social media, like I post a lot about just like just general education. Like I said, I put it as a hashtag. I call it free game. Because it's like legit free game. Like this shit is so easy. You can learn it yourself, but a lot of people just ignore it because just like, it's out of sight, out of mind. But no, at some point you're gonna be faced with this one day. So like credit is a big thing that people try to brush off, put to the side, or whatever the case may be. That's why it's so many credit repair programs. Those credit repair programs don't do anything but just brush it off until a few years later, and then it pops back up on your credit report. And then you stuck with it, dealing it whenever, a situation occurs. Deal with the situation at hand, get it out the way, and proceed forward. And that's just how I look at it.
Cool.
Maiya helped me get my house, y'all. So, like, she is legit. Like, she really get it done. I got a nice little house, everything. And I've been living there for a few months now. Like I've been in there since June. And it's about to be March, yeah. So basically, I've been in there for a minute.
All right, so I like to ask this question. So, like, how was your experience?
My experience getting a house stressful.
Stressful.
But everybody says that. Like everybody says that their house buying experience is stressful. It was stressful. And it's like a lot of different things that happens for everybody and their different experiences. But mine was more so I was angry with the state of Maryland for holding me up from getting my house. So it wasn't even like anybody that was involved in the house buying process. It was mainly the state, the government, that pissed me off. Yeah, like the state of Maryland with the ransomware that they had going on around that time.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's what slowed my whole process down.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, like
how your whole state get held up?
Like your whole state.
Not like just to sit like the whole state getting like, yeah, nigga.
Right.
Fucking all y'all shit.
Had me wait for like 2 weeks.
I was gonna say they don't have a competent knock support? Like, you don't have not to prevent shit like this? You just coasting.
Like, damn.
Exactly.
Then they all like, they go like, damn, should we pay these niggas? That's just like, y'all really got contemplate.
And it's like, all right, if we give in to them, then they might do it again. Like, come on now.
They said because they basically we just like say fucking and use the backup shit, or do we pay them so they can release that shit and teach us how to not let it happen again? So it's like y'all some dickheads. Like y'all should have been like, I just was looking on TV, like watching the news when that shit was going on. Like
It was
it's
retarded.
embarrassing living here. You know?
That's what I'm saying. And what was crazy is because like I was looking for a house for 2 months prior than when I found the house. So when I finally found the house, I was happy because I was like, all right, shit, I found the house. Then the ransom happened. The ransom happened.
It literally stopped.
Did they
And then
ever
stopped
figure out
that
who did
process from
No.
me getting the damn house. Literally had me wait a whole month until I was able to finally settle.
And reason being, to get a little bit more into depth about that, is because when you are purchasing a home, I don't know if you guys know this, but
What the fuck? Oh my god. Hold on.
Everybody rewind 10 seconds and focus on
Funny
the premise.
part is he was trying to be inconspicuous about this. Like he been to a salty crap. Oh no.
so what stopped the process was the title work. So when you are buying a home, the one thing that we try to make sure is that you are owning your home free and clear. So you are assuming the deed free and clear, assuming title free and clear, just like how you would a car. That's the best way I can relate it. So we have to, they have to check water bills. They have something called ground rent. So say, you own the land on the property, but you built a house maybe like 5 years later on that. You pay her something you call ground rent because you built the property on her land.
But I thought when you buy land, or if you buy...
No, absolutely not.
I actually pay ground rent to somebody.
She pays ground rent to somebody because the land that her house is built on is still owned by somebody else. However, you can redeem that ground rent, but it's a lot of tracing back because 9 times out of 10 that person is deceased.
Right.
So they probably paying it to like the family or something of that.
State or some shit like that.
Exactly. So doing all that digging requires a lot of work that has to be done by the state. So since the whole ransomware attack, was held up, they couldn't do a lot of searching. That's what held up Taylor's home buying process. So it wasn't necessarily
went to the person because the state wasn't able to find who that person was. So at the end of the day, I'm still paying the ground rent to someone. Even though I own my house now, like they own the land that I live on.
Wow.
However, when it does get to a point, we can figure out how much is actually like left or what they're willing to accept, and we can redeem that. And then you can then own your land and your property.
And then you still want to pay property taxes though.
That is very true. That does not go
Yeah,
away.
that don't go away.
Yeah,
The
that
state of Maryland some shit.
Yeah. I mean the
We one of the
ransomware
most
thing
tax
is
states in
year.
the country.
I feel like we were so close to DC.
You said what?
We were so close to DC.
That fucked in tax?
No, just as far
Well,
as
that's
just
probably why we
age.
saw
geographically.
Yeah.
paying ain't shit.
There was something else I was going to ask. But I'm not... I don't have the capacity to...
I'm not talking specifically where.
What's your least favorite part about a job?
Like as far as real estate?
Yeah. Or both jobs. You can just pick which one you want to talk
Yeah,
about first.
well, shit. All right, so my least favorite about real estate is getting people. That's like my least favorite part, because at the end of the day, if I don't make a sale, I don't eat. And that's just like the pros and
reality,
that's just like the pros and the cons of it. So I have to post on social media every day. I have to network every day. I have to go out and meet people every day in some sort of hopes that people are
Looking to buy a house.
ready to buy a house. And I want to say a downfall of mine is that because I am African American, because I am female, people look at me a certain way and they do not take me seriously in this industry. Because you have to think, before me, there was a lot of Caucasian male and females dominating this industry. So that's what they're used to. And it's sad to say that even our own people they will rather go to them versus coming to me. And that's why I try to show so much of my personality, because, oh yeah, she is young. Oh yeah, she is cool. Oh, I can relate to her. That'll draw people to me. So it's like I still have to work extra hard to try to, draw people in as clientele, because, those are my business. Those are my, my customers. That's how I eat. That's how I support my household. So I want to say that's probably the hardest part.
Bartender.
Man. Well, bartending is just, I'd be tired and ready to go home. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bartending is cool. I do network a lot. I do want to say, like, that's a benefit. I do network with a lot of people just by being in the area that I am. But no, like, it's no real complications with that one.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
I get what you mean though when you saying, like, that you young and you're a black female. There's some people probably won't want to choose that.
Exactly.
But that's the reason why I've chose you. Like, I want somebody that was relatable to me to sell me my house. Like, it was a lot of people that offered to sell me a house. Like, I was in first time home buyer workshops probably like 2 years until I decided to finally go forth and look for my house. And like, there's probably like, I've always was drawn to the black people that was trying to sell me my house, honestly, because it was like they knew me, they understood where I came from, and it was just like I feel like they would better understand the type of house I'm looking for or where I want to live. Because they'll know where I want to live and be knowledgeable of the demographic of where I'm choosing to live. So it's
and
just
if I tell you, it gets so deeper into it, like a lot of people. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of it, but it's called redlining.
Oh yeah.
You've heard of redlining?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like even with that, even with you being an African American female, they will strategically narrow you down to certain neighborhoods because certain demographics do not want you in their neighborhood. Even when it comes to mortgages, like as far as like, oh, we're not going to approve her for, this mile of a radius. Like, it gets that depth into detail. And believe it or not, an article just came out about Emerson Village. Emerson Village was predominantly white at one point. And the fact that, they were redlining that area to keep African Americans out of that community. And, as time progressed, things changed. But it gets so strategic and, certain rules and laws were in place in real estate because they were keeping us out of certain places to real estate to home mortgages. So I do want to come and I do want to break that barrier. And I do want to do it. I want to rock with some feathers. That's what I came to do. So.
I didn't know. I thought like at this point they had kind of made different like laws or whatever to prevent that type of stuff. But I'm sure every time they come up with what.
British is fucked up. Over here trying to sneak in.
But they always find loopholes, so they'll figure out ways to keep.
Absolutely. And that's why for every 2 steps, I need to be at least 3. I need to be ahead. Like, I have to, know the learning curves. I need to see what's coming. That's why, I stay up on my laws. I stay up on the information. Like, we have Annapolis, of course, is, our capital. So that's where a lot of, real estate events rallies are, hold taxes, everything about, the housing industry. Because that fluctuates our market, how we generate as just a population. So to know that, to have that access to that information, I already have one up, and they're still gonna look at me as as if I'm at the bottom. So that's why I choose to take my information, share it with other people. It's up to them if they want to take it or not.
Yeah, I feel you on because at my job I work at a credit union, and sometimes when older people see me, they don't really they try to look around with somebody else how long, and they ask me how long you been here? What you mean? Yeah, that's the first question. You ask everybody else how long they work here recently?
Yeah.
Nah, you're right. Damn, I keep forgetting the question I was about to skip me.
You'll come back to Chris. Also forgot the question I had. I've been drinking, so I have.
Tell her.
Oh damn, I'm putting on the spot. I had the last question.
Oh, okay.
So hold on, what was it? I did have another question, but now I don't know.
Still tell her.
Prentice, look.
I asked the last question. I asked her, what's your favorite part about like the job?
About real estate? So honestly, like, my favorite part is when my clients close. That's honestly like my best part, because it's not only have I successfully done, you know, my job as a real estate agent, I have gotten someone to own something. Like, as Black people, African Americans, whatever you want to call it, we don't own. Hello.
Yeah.
We don't own our mortgage, you know, our house, even if it's not ours at that point. Our cars, you know, we're paying that to someone. We don't own that car. we don't own that car. Like, it's to officially own something, and to be a part of that process. Like, that's rewarding to me, because one, I'm a super religious person. So at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about whom I helped. It's whose life I've changed.
What's your religious background? You Christian?
I am a Christian.
Okay.
I'm a strong Christian too.
Okay.
But
I got
that's
some more questions.
I had actually gotten into a debate with like some family members earlier, because like we have some properties that like my grandparents owned or whatever, and you know they talk, you know, every once in a while they talk about selling it, and I'm like, maybe that's cool, but why? Like,
right.
Why do you
challenge that?
Right. Why do you want to sell? I was like, at some point, you know, I feel like you should own and keep it. That way you can have that type of stuff to pass it down through lineage, all that other type of stuff. Because that's really how, you know, the one up that, you know, we don't have. Like, they have things they can pass down, whether it's property, you know, all this type of
Heirloom.
stuff. Right. All these things that they pass down to the next generation, where because most of us either don't own, or when we do own, we sell.
And that's the sad part about it. People are so quick to sell because they look at it as a headache. But just like how you pay for car insurance and you cover your car, you have homeowners warranties and insurance to cover your house. Like, that is the main thing. Like, even at this point, like, still, like, I'm offering 50% off. So I'm paying half of your home warranty for up to 1 year. Because I know that's people's biggest issue. And their conflict is, oh, you know, I don't have enough money. You know, what if something breaks? That's why I just rather rent. No, own your house. Own your shit. Because guess what? The landlord that you're paying rent to, that little $200 that you're paying extra, they got a home warranty. So even if some shit breaking, you do call them. Oh, guess what? They got to cover. Why? Because you paying it. Absolutely not.
Zero of your attempts have been
so if you
subtle.
I remember my question now. So if there was one thing that you would tell someone who's in the process of either, you know, buying a home or in the market for buying a home, what's the one thing you would tell them to either be prepared for or have ready?
Stay up on your credit.
Credit
is everything. Credit is who you are on paper. I don't give a shit about, you know, what you make. I don't give a shit about none of that. Credit is who you are on paper. And if you show these banks, these mortgage companies, that you can't make a decent payment on time, that...
What the fuck is happening over here?
I'm missing all of it.
I don't know what's going on with Prentice.
Lee been geeking about something last time. Just now, I was geeking. So that's how I heard it. I was tripping over here.
But no, like, my main thing is just, like, you know, stay up on your credit. Like, it's so many free resources. It's so many free tools. It's no excuse for you to be ignorant to it. It's no excuse for you to be ignorant to it. So, because like I said, credit is how they see you on paper. And, yo, the money that a lot of people prepare to spend on, like, credit repair companies, yo, spend that money to pay off your bills. Like, for real.
That's why I tell niggas at my job, I was like, yo, because I just asked them, like, so how you going to repair your credit? I was just like, don't do that. They just going to do the same thing you can do yourself. They're just
Exactly.
going to call them and see what it is and see what they were willing to settle with. He's like, for real? I'm like, you going to pay somebody $500 when you owe them a $300 bill.
Exactly. That makes no sense.
And then, so I work at a credit union. I'm like, yo, we, it's free. Like you said, it's a free, when you work for a credit union, we offer this thing where it's, I'm not going to say my job name because fuck them niggas. But, it's like this free program. Hit me up in my DMs if you really can. But it's like a free program where they help you come up with a savings plan for buying a house or consolidating debt. They help you like consolidate loans. Like they help, and it's free. If you're part of the credit union, they help you do all that, and it's for free. And niggas paying people $500 just to be like, hey, he didn't have a job during this time. Can you guys possibly like wipe that off, or well, how much would y'all willing to settle with? And I'll be telling people it's really that simple.
And that's good. That's a real good. But no, like for real, like your credit, like I said, that is the main important thing.
That's
Now,
what
see,
people
I
talk
had
about.
a personal, I guess, hurdle with my credit because my score is excellent.
But you don't have no.
But they told me was like you don't have like big, like
you don't have a history of doing big.
right, big loan, big
Yeah.
ticket loans on your credit report. So it's
How
just
much is
like,
the car?
well, that was before I bought the car.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why I bought the car because I'm like, all right, let me get this car.
So you should finance something.
Yeah, that's what I
car.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but before that was the thing. I'm saying like my credit score was cool. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. And then when I went to go talk to a financial representative or whatever at the bank, they was like, yeah, you don't have a
Limited credit experience. That's what
yeah,
they call it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, well, I thought I was doing the right thing, but apparently not.
You gotta show them that you can
Yeah,
pay
you gotta show them
something
that you
back.
be responsible.
Yeah,
Right.
like you can pay.
Like
something.
I was doing like my credit cards and that type of stuff, and I ain't have like a big either a car loan or like
They
a
want to
college
see
loan.
if
or
you
like
can
whatever.
manage at least over 3 years of credit history, and then at least 5 to 7 accounts.
Okay.
So that's what they want to see to provide you to say that you have stable credit history
Right.
before they give you a substantial amount
Right.
in mortgage.
So you're not relying on your credit as well. They
Right.
don't want to see you
Exactly.
using more than 1/3 of that shit.
Yeah.
More than
Exactly.
30%.
Yeah.
30%.
30%, yeah.
Absolutely. So like one thing I have a Discover card, and my Discover gives me my FICO. My FICO score, like I keep that. Like I play with it because I play with them. And that's just how you do it. Like once you master the game, you know how to play. So like I let it go down, and then I let it go back up, and I let it go down, and I let it go back up. And it's just honestly just like a game. Like yo, once you master the game, like it's literally it. But people they want to be so nonchalant. They don't want to pay no mind. They want to just push it back to the side. Like no, yo, if you beat them at their own game, like yo, you honestly have a 1-up.
Once I took control of my credit, 'cause my score was like 5 something, like low 5s. Now all my shit like 7, upper 7. So I'm like, yeah, and it just really took me just paying off shit. Like
It is.
I just was like, you know
So
what?
simple.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna pay $400 a month on it. I don't care if it kill me.
So simple.
It's gonna be done in 2 months versus me paying it off like
Right.
the minimum. So I'm like,
Minimum.
fuck it, knock that shit off. My
And then
score
hit you
jumped
with
up.
the interest or
Right, and the interest, that's what really was killing me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I probably if I would have just paid it off like that from the jump, I wouldn't have had it that long. But they was adding like $50 in interest every month. So if I paid the minimum, which was like $50,
you're not really paying nothing
because
else.
they throwing that right back on
Right.
interest. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna knock this shit out. So like for 4 months, I just do 400 on there. Like fuck it.
That's what I'm saying. Like yo, this shit is literally.
Yeah,
a
then my score
game.
jumped like 40 points. Like it went from cause like at first I was paying like an extra 40 on there. I'm like this shit's still not coming down fast enough. So that's why I just threw the 4 on there. And I just got some extra money, and I was like, you know what?
My general rule of thumb has always been just pay my credit card off every time I get paid, because that way I'm never paying interest, because the interest only racks up per a cycle, statement cycle or whatever. So I'm just like
Settlement. I said settlement date. Statement date.
right, statement date.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I ain't never paying y'all interest because I'm using your card, but I ain't paying you. Like
Ooh, and banks don't like
they don't.
that.
They probably hate me. I've
Banks don't
never
like
paid
that.
interest on my credit card.
They're like, yeah, your minimum 25. Yeah, I'm gonna pay the whole 300. though.
Yeah.
They be like, you sure? You sure?
That's
You don't want to go out to eat? Like, you sure? Like, no,
Right,
no.
yeah.
We just want 25 though. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna give y'all your
Good.
money.
Right.
Bet.
Yeah, they kind of rely on you fucking that up.
Yeah.
They
Some banks
do.
even got fees where like penalties for paying off your loan early.
For
They
real?
do.
Wow.
That's
Prepayment.
crazy.
Prepayment.
But that sounds like the student loan shit. It's like when
Oh,
you're
God,
like,
student loans is nothing
yo,
but predatory.
I fucking hate student loans. Like, the whole process of student loans is ridiculous. Like, last year when I tried to, like, refinance my student loan because I was, like, about to buy a house, I wanted to get my student loan to be cheaper for me to pay every month. I refinanced my student loan, and then I tried to pay it off. Like, I was like, all right, I'm trying to send stuff to the principal so that I can let it be, you know, make it like less than that amount.
You pay less interest. Yeah.
You go in there, you send more money. They do not do it. They
Explain to them
still.
what the principle is, because there's too many people, especially people of color, who don't know what the fuck principle is.
So the
I was just gonna say
principal,
sidebar.
the
It's
principal
just
is
like-
literally like the balance that you owe.
Yep.
It's the balance that you owe, and then you know you have interest, which is like what you're paying back to the company that's basically helping you pay this bill or whatever. So like I have the company that I go with for student loans is Earnest. Now that's what I refinance with. At first it was called Great Lakes. Great Lakes, the interest rate was hella high, and what was happening was it wasn't a fixed interest rate that I had. It was my interest rate fluctuated.
That's not
So
good.
basically, like when I was about to pay for the next year for my student loan, then it went up a few percent, and I couldn't change it because they didn't have the option for you to change it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to another company. So I wanted to find an Earnest, and Earnest they basically had like a fixed rate for me to pay for the next, I guess, 20 years or 10 years. I don't think it's 20 years, 10 years.
I'm trying to tell you, college loans is
for the
nothing but
next-
predatory.
Like for the next 10 years, they get this one rate that I could pay for the next 10 years. So I went and found Earnest or whatever. But this one rate is so low that I was like, all right, it's so low, I can really pay off my student loan because my interest rate is so low. I try to send extra money, and when I'm sending extra money, and they like, oh, they putting it to the interest instead of the.
You gotta be specific.
Yeah,
like
tell
yo,
them,
put
like,
this
They
shit
put
towards the
it-
principal.
they
Yep.
putting it to the interest instead of the
money.
principal. So I call them, and I'm calling them like, all right, I need to make sure that you putting my money to the principal. Oh, with student loans, you can't do that. I'm like, what? Like, you cannot just call and be like, I want to pay the principal. It doesn't work that way. Like, you have to pay on a specific date. Try to make sure that you pay on that date, and the majority of your money goes to the principal on that specific date. But if you pay, like say if I paid the day after my due date, most of my money is going to go to the principal.
Because the interest for that is after the due date.
Yeah, like most of the money is gonna go towards the principal. But if I decided to pay like 10 days later, it's gonna go towards the interest rate instead of my principal. And there is no way for me to call. Like when I had a loan on my car, I was able to call and be like, I want to pay this to the principal, and they would put it to the principal. When you call in and make a payment to student loans, it's not like that for student loans. When you call in for when you call for student loans, they're going to tell you, oh, well, you have to pay it the day after the due date because that's when most of your money is going to go to the principal. They're not going to tell you, oh, well, we're going to apply it to the principal. They don't do it. They just say that they just do not do it. And that sucks for students because, like, if you want to
Pay it off quicker.
if you want to pay it off quicker, there is no way for you to pay off your student loan quicker. Like, you literally will die with your debt if you are unable to pay your student loan.
That's
And
why
that
I feel like
sucks.
college altogether is a scam, but that's a whole different topic.
Like, it is a scam. Like, I really do want, right now, I paid my student loan down a lot because, like, I did a lot of, like, some things I wasn't supposed to do to make sure that my student loan was cheap or whatever. So,
You throw some ass or something.
like my student loans, I only owe probably $12,000 in my student loans. I left UB with $20,000 in student loan debt, but now I only have 12. I've been out of school for probably like 6 years now or whatever, and then I paid down a lot. I paid down a lot, but like now it's slowed down. Like the whole process slowed down. Now it's like I feel like last year I still had the same amount of like debt. Like last year when I checked it was $12,000, and it's still $12,000 I've been paying all year on this, and it's not moving
Mostly going to
nowhere.
the interest.
Yeah, it's mostly going to the interest. So I tried and change it, and it's just not.
It's so hard
They
to
don't
explain
do
that to
it.
people.
Like, and it's not working. So like, this is the crisis of students' loan now, because like everybody that's going to school is like, you paying for what? For you to go nowhere. Like, it's not. I'm going to literally be paying on $12,000 forever.
Right.
Like that. It don't make
That's
no
on loans,
sense.
period. Cause like it's so hard to explain people like they like I had this loan for like a year and it's still been like it's still almost like the same amount I had. I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
That shit drives
The
me
first
crazy.
year, I
interest
swear,
is 18%.
the first year, so little of what you pay goes towards the principal. Like,
Right.
you're mostly just paying interest fees and shit.
I'll be looking at them like, well, your interest rate 18%, so
That's the highest interest rate.
Right.
God dang.
Like, you see with me, like, on my app for, like, my car, I got my car through my credit union. And it gives me, it was just like, you know, principal only. And I would
Yeah.
gladly click
Yeah.
that principal only. Like, yes, take that shit down. Like, take that shit down. So, I believe from this app, it is just only going towards the principal. So I feel like that does help.
they do.
But see, when you with a commercial bank, you don't get them privileges.
They do. You just
Yeah,
gotta go
when
inside
I worked
the
at
actual
Bank of
branch.
America, you could make payments.
Yeah, you just gotta go.
You
had to go there.
But you had to
Yeah.
tell them like, yo,
You had
this
to be
is-
And you got
specific.
specifically tell them, like, it's the
Mhm.
same thing my job now. You got specifically, hey, I want this to be a principal
Yeah.
payment.
right.
Make sure it's a
Because if you
principal
don't, they're
payment.
just gonna put it in as a regular payment, which goes towards nowhere, basically.
Right, exactly.
So
Anybody got time for that?